I've been wanting to get a green screen for a while. I'm thinking it's probably a good investment for our business here.
Yeah. Think about all the possibilities. We could get green morph suits.
Yeah, we could. Wouldn't it be cool if we had, like, let's say we get to a point where people are creating a significant amount of games and a big portion of the show is us featuring them, right? Where it's like, these are the games of the week, you know, whatever. We can wear a full green suit, have a green screen, and the podcast for the episode, like the game of the week that we feature, is just footage of the game is the podcast, and it's our faces in it.
I like it, but
but it's perfect.
But what if the green screen is still there? We're wearing morph suits, but our morph suits aren't green. They're a different color. They're a solid color with a different color, and then we can be something besides ourselves.
Oh
with
shit!
The game behind us.
Is that like the money wubby dude that you
like?
like?
Yeah, we can be lizards. But he uses a green screen suit.
Yeah.
But he doesn't cover his face, so you just see his floating face.
His floating face?
His floating face?
Floating face. Yeah, we can do like well, if we ever get really popular and we sell out, we need that big boy money.
Yeah, that bad booty.
That bad booty. You and I can be we could basically be billboards. So it's in the background is community game bullshit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Microsoft.
Yo, actually though, kind of dope. I'm feeling it. The Novia's Bakery probably would need to stay.
The Novia's Bakery will be on this laptop for as long as I have this laptop, but
depending on how angry you get at it, that might not be that long.
Yeah, I thought I was over the angry breaking electronics phase in my life until I broke that modem a couple years ago. Really felt alive in that moment and immediately regretted it.
I thought it would have been when you broke, I think it was like your phone or a laptop, and you threw it onto your bed and it just bounced off and onto the floor.
Oh, I didn't break the laptop. I didn't even do that out of anger because it landed on a corner and it bounced off the bed. And then it hit my desktop, which is all glass. And then I spent weeks getting little pieces of glass out of the carpet. Because it landed on. That's way worse than I remember it. Which is, at least I remembered it, is what I'm gonna say. You know, that's something. We're seeing improvement. One day you'll remember who I am. You just show up and do this podcast with me. A complete stranger. I had brunch. They didn't know anyone. You're too polite. You just show up, smile and wave for an hour every 2 weeks. Can you imagine? That'd be the ultimate twist, like the biggest twist in podcast history. It's like this dude's been dead the whole time, pretty much. This person's suffering from like Alzheimer's and has been doing a podcast, but doesn't realize they're doing a podcast for years. There would be NPR articles written about us. It would be pretty big. All right, I'll do it. Yeah, dude. I'll forget you for this podcast success. This could just be the intro of the podcast. I've been thinking about switching it up again. Back to cold openings. I just like the fun. I miss the fun. I do also. I miss the what the fuck is up, Yazeed? Nice. Yeah, that is a good question. Not much. Okay. Well, on the previous episode of the podcast, we talked about the catalog service that I was building. We talked about the Squish refactor that I had been working on and the pull request that I had out, and then you were making some changes to that pull request. Mm-hmm. You updated that shit at 12:30 this morning. You were a trooper for that. That's right. I haven't looked at it. That's fine. I'll be honest. I was playing Dota 2. Mm-hmm. And then when I was done playing Dota 2, I was watching YouTube videos and finishing it up. And then I put it out. And then I looked at the time and I was like, God, I'd be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm not going to make it. So it's okay that you didn't look at it. Mostly in that one, it's basically all the changes we've been talking about over the last few weeks. The other thing that came out of it really was I was looking at adding a linter to it, mostly because I was thinking maybe it is a good idea to get the linter in there, but then I remembered when we were talking about it, it's smaller PRs, so
Didn't put the linter in there, but I think I'm gonna go with just the standard like ESLint lintering rules, and then we can customize them if we see that there's rules in there we don't like, or add rules if we think there's rules that we do like, and then just adding a linter to the CI side of things too. So that'll be like the next PR with TypeScript into the current standing Squisher PR.
Well, I have the other batch of Homegames dashboard changes. So I have the basically the download games and play them dashboard changes. So that I need before we TypeScript stuff, because that might hold us up longer for the like non-mission critical shit.
That you need before. As in, you need to get that in before we TypeScript stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, yes. We should do that. Basically, it would be a PR into Squish after the current stuff goes in. Yeah, I think we had talked about that too.
But the current stuff will go in, and then I have a whole other pull request of the dashboard is what I mean. Like
already? Is it out?
No. I'm waiting on this to be merged before I finish all that, because that's what I was saying a couple weeks ago, which is that there's like the refactor that I did to get everything working as it did before. But then there's the thing to actually make it work with the game publishing stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll do that. It won't be that crazy. It's mostly just more dashboard changes, talking to the APIs that I'm currently writing, which is the landlord stuff. So, yeah, that. But we should do that before we do TypeScript.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes. So current order, my PR into your PR, or my PR into my PR gets merged in. Then your PR comes out. I review your PR. That gets merged in. Then another PR, TypeScript and ESLint.
That's the third one.
It's the fourth one.
Oh, you're talking about your... Okay. So your request is the first one. Into mine is the second one. The third is the new dashboard one. The fourth will be yours with TypeScript. I would say still add linting separately, because when you do linting, you're typically going to change hundreds of lines at once. So in a large PR already, if there's like real changes to logic or anything, the way that things are built, the way that things are typed, the way that anything like that, and then you have those changes, and then you also lint in the same thing, the change set is like overwhelming, and it's hard to see what actually changed.
Interesting. I wonder though, I don't remember when we originally changed it from JS to TypeScript, did it show that it just transferred from JS to TypeScript, or was it like this file was deleted, this file was created?
It's a good question. I think it was created, deleted. I don't think it was like, hey, this was moved.
Okay, if it's created and deleted, then I don't think it's going to make a difference. Because the diff would just be like, this file is gone and this new file here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay, yeah, we should double check on that. But if that's the case, then yeah, you're right. It'll just be a big mess of changes anyway.
Yeah. I'll look, because I think in this PR was the earlier stuff too. So I'll take a look at that and I'll verify it, and I'll let you know, or let everyone know on the podcast.
On the potty.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Cool. We're making big progress coming.
Nice. Yeah. I was looking into what I had to do for the rest of, basically for the like the list of priorities for the launch, and so I have it kind of 3 categories. I have required for launch, would be really nice but not necessary, like basically kind of required, but I'm willing to cut it.
Yeah.
And then the third one is just nice to have. So basically in that first one is, like I said, that dashboard stuff to actually play games, download games that people publish. And part of that also is finishing the publishing aspect of everything. But that's pretty much it. The HTTPS stuff, the certs, it's always been finicky, and it needs still time. Like, it works, but it's fragile. And I'm just going to say that can wait until post-launch. People can have their subpar game thing before they can have, walkie-talkie features that we don't even have built in yet. Like that walkie-talkie I tried to build last year. It worked for 5 seconds. And then I tried it on the real test site, and it was so busted. I was like, oh yeah, fuck all of this. I'm not going to touch any of this. So that I need to revisit and stuff, but that was basically what we could do with certs and HTTPS, which again, we've talked about this a lot. It's important, necessary, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But for this initial, like, hey, what's Homegames? Trying to get into Homegames, like trying to
Yeah,
the initial push. You don't need to see all the crazy shit. So,
and I mean, everything is done locally anyway.
mm-hmm.
So
for security, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
for security, it doesn't matter at all. It's just for the actual API access locally for microphones and for that kind of shit. We need the certs. So,
isn't that specific to Firefox?
It is, but it's, or at least it was when I tested, almost 2 years ago at this point. But it was a security feature, and I imagine if it's like a security thing, I don't want to be saying, hey, only use this in Chrome, which I don't even use Chrome. I use Firefox, which maybe is better, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But I'm not going to say, hey, you have to use Chrome, and also when Chrome inevitably decides that this is a security thing, they don't want to give you microphone access unless you have a cert. Well, then we're fucked. We still have to do things, and we might have customers at that point, So just to plan for that kind of a scenario, we should have them eventually. But like I said, not by June. I'm just trying to get publishing correct and assets and the catalog stuff. So that's what I've been working on. But because I was basically just waiting on your pull request to this, I was mostly working on website stuff and the way that it looks and like the catalog service this past couple of weeks. Basically, the catalog is you hit homegames.io/catalog, and it is pages of games. That's it. It's just alphabetized every game that's been published and available, and you can go through them. They're all stored in Dynamo, and so we just query Dynamo. And this is the stuff I talked about before with scans, where I said we shouldn't scan the tables and it's bad to scan things.
Yeah.
And that was why we weren't going to do listing games. And then I said, oh, well, wait, we need to list games. Fuck it. Scan is fine for now. And then I said something like, we could query if I added a hard-coded value that I always use as the primary key query. Basically the specifics of how Dynamo works, blah, 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 whatever. I thought of some hacky workaround. But then I realized we have this limitation on the catalog. We don't want to display games in the catalog if they're not published yet, if they're not publicly available. If someone's working on a game, they created the game, like the kind of game container, and they're publishing versions of it that aren't yet ready. We don't want that listed in a public catalog.
Yeah.
So it creates this attribute in our table, which is public. Right? That's the result that I created.
Right.
So using that as my primary key query thing, whatever. Using that is public thing, I can efficiently query the Dynamo table now.
Oh, okay.
And get lists and pages of stuff. So all those problems I mentioned before with scans and inefficient bullshit is kind of fixed. So the catalog is nice. Like I have some test games published with some test images, like for thumbnails and stuff. And basically you just scroll through pages and you click into them. It shows you the detail and who published it, when it was last published and whatever, all that shit. But it works. The CSS of the website is like so fucking bad. I was trying to say another word, but fuck it. It's fucking terrible. Fucking bad. And yeah, I was going through and basically had this thing where I wanted the initial homegames.io website front page to look nice. It needs to
Yeah.
And then I realized I had this kind of moment where I was looking at our colors because our logo was done by someone on Fiverr and someone who knows like graphic design and the way the colors should work and shit. And then somewhere along the way, I added a green to it. So it's like red, yellow, blue, green. Right?
Okay,
Those are our four colors.
Yeah.
In certain kind of like, it's like a pastel-y kind of sprinkly kind of look,
Okay. Sprinkly kind of?
Sprinkly, I don't know. It looks like sprinkles, like on a soft summer day.
Like on ice cream?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to articulate.
I've never seen green sprinkles.
There are definitely green sprinkles, but I'm saying the way that the colors sit on the website looks soft.
Okay.
There's a look to the colors.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, I realized we had these four colors. On my wall, I have a Pokemon poster with Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and Pikachu. Right? Red, yellow, blue, green.
Yeah.
Same colors.
Okay.
I remember my first ever video game console was a Super Nintendo. And there's the two types of controllers. There's one with like the purple and pink buttons. But there's the one, I think it was on the Japanese SNES, maybe. And it was the four colors, red, yellow, blue, green, organized like in circle dots.
Like a diamond with circles in it?
Yeah, it's a gamepad button
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit. Those are our colors. Those are Pokemon colors. Those are Super Nintendo controller colors. I'm going to rearrange the buttons so they look like that on the front page. So it's like downloads, podcast, demo.
Oh.
And what's the last one? Download, demo, podcast, catalog. Catalog, which I was just talking about. So, you click into any of those and you just, that's like the initial pop on the website. So hopefully that's like a branding. You know, we need to have like a brand.
Yeah.
Like logos and colors and consistent styling, messaging, and the vibe.
The vibe is important, yes.
The vibe is very important. It's been the thing, like, when I was a kid and I would hear people talk about branding, I was always just like, man, fucking corporate bullshit, bro. Fuck your brand, man. But realizing, like, and this is such a capitalistic type way to view people, but everybody is a brand. You are a brand in a way because you are perceived by others as a person. So you have a thing, right? You have a vibe.
Okay,
you're learning this with your style.
He's becoming American Psycho himself. All right, everyone, this is the start. Be careful. No, I mean, you're not wrong, but also it's funny to think of it as a brand thing. But yeah, you're right. You're getting into fashion definitely is like some part of that, like how I like present to the world who I am in like a really quick like look over. Yeah,
it's just the way that you express and, like you said, to message yourself, like represent yourself. And that's true even if you don't have a brand. And we don't even really have a brand, you know, like I would never say those words.
Yeah.
But technically we maintain this thing that has a name. So, you know.
Technically we maintain this thing that has a name. All right, fair enough.
So you could tell people when you're on Bumble, you know, just tell girls that you have a brand, you know. My brand that I manage with my... I don't know what you want to call it to make me sound cooler. I have a potty. My brand.
With my partner.
My partner. Yeah,
my business partner, so we don't confuse it. What was I going to say? I think that's cool. I do think probably kind of spending time on how I want to brand is going to be important. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about those buttons because... Sorry if you hear me pouring coffee. It's because I'm pouring coffee.
It's not because he's peeing.
Just peeing in a coffee cup and playing it off. It'd be the smoothest on-air pee.
No, it's a coffee cup. People listen just like through Spotify or just listening to you.
Just like very NPR voice. Don't mind me. I'm just pissing in my jug.
I always wondered whether those people had the voice naturally or is there training at NPR to sound like that? To be like mildly interested but also kind of disinterested. It's like a real skill.
And also smug as fuck.
Do you think the NPR people are smug?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only listened the last time I listened to NPR was when I had to drive my mom's car to the grocery store like the day before Thanksgiving. And they were talking about how to prepare your turkey.
That's pretty smug. Prepare the turkey?
They weren't. People calling in were talking about like how they made their turkey.
Well, if your fan base is that much of an asshole to say prepare the turkey,
I don't know if they said prepare the turkey, but it would be like, you know, like their marinade or whatever, like the stuff you do before you actually put in the oven. No. Preparing the turkey.
We microwave the bird, you know. That's what we do. Just toss that fucker in.
Oh, you have a big ass microwave, bro.
I want a radio show where our fan base calls in and they ask, "How do I toss that fucker in?" Not how do I prepare the turkey, you know? That's the kind of crowd I want to be. That's my brand.
Oh God! All right.
If I were more comfortable putting swearing in our titles, I would call this one "Toss That Fucker In." But we could make that a T-shirt if we really wanted to like go for it. People would wear that. Toss that fucker in. You know. Picture of a toaster oven.
You know, actually, the toaster oven being there really makes that one for me.
Or a Hot Pocket. Put a Hot Pocket next to it. Anyway, so I was working on the website and realized how important our colors are and how important that kind of stuff is. So spent like an hour and a half writing a CSS for 4 fucking buttons. I'm terrible at CSS, but I also hate CSS. Do you have that where CSS, because I never learned it properly, it feels like it's just trial and error?
It's 100% trial and error. Yeah. Literally, I think that no one can know CSS. CSS is unknowable. You don't know any of the rules of CSS. You Google all of them, and then you just try until one of them works. And then you never think is this the right one? You're like, clearly it is. It did what I was asking it to do. Yeah. And then you move on with your life and forget instantaneously what you did. So when you run into that problem again, you have to start the beginning and start all over again.
It's true.
Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
We use Tailwind at work.
I don't know what Tailwind is.
Tailwind is like CSS, but gentle.
Is it like just, well, it must just transpile something to CSS, right?
No, well, kind of. Basically, Tailwind gives you, it does transpile, you're right. But Tailwind basically gives you classes. Instead of remembering all of the rules, you just slap classes on things. And those classes come pre-styled.
Oh, so it's basically a CSS framework.
Yeah, it's a CSS framework. It's
really
nice.
Cool.
We might want to take a look at it. If we wanted to make CSS easier. And also, I like it mostly because of how it makes it consistent. You don't have to have like one big CSS sheet that you move across to everything. You know what I mean? Or like imports it or whatever. But yeah, it'll handle that for you. That'd be something to think about.
I guess our website is not complex enough in my head to require anything significant like that. It's basically, you can use the CSS Grid or whatever it's called, where you set up a template and say, hey, I basically want 3 columns in this page. That's what the catalog is, where it's just, a page of 6 in columns of 2, 3 columns of 2. And then little page buttons to go left and right and a footer. So it's pretty basic. And oh shit, that's one thing too. I need to build an admin dashboard for games, because when someone publishes a game to be published or publishes a game to be listed publicly, there's going to be that thing where so this is in my head the process. Someone says, I have a game, here's the code, passes the test, goes through the builder, I put it up, it's unlisted. Like, I can send it to people with the link.
Okay.
It's like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I can send it to people with the link and all this kind of stuff. This is the default publish. It just goes unlisted. When you want to list that game publicly, make it published, public, like go.
Like anyone else can download it?
Yes, for a specific game version. Not the game overall. For a specific game version that you've put out and it's unreleased, right? Unlisted. I sent it to my friends. They said it sucks. I'm ready to release it, right?
Yeah.
I click publish, or whatever the word is, because publish is what you kind of already did. It's like
go live.
Yeah, I guess push
and make available.
Make available. There's a hot button on the list.
Listen. Sometimes I hit gold with the home dome, and sometimes I hit diamond with the make available. All right.
Make available. Now we'll workshop it, but there's some word that describes that action. But it's basically make it public. When that happens, I get an email. This is the process. None of this happens yet.
Can we name it ready to mingle?
Ready to mingle? Like that's the button?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's the brand I don't want. That's like the whoops, something went wrong on an Xbox error page. Fucking hate that shit.
XD rar.
Yeah.
Game no found.
Yeah, it's just a picture of Boxy that comes up.
All your errors are belong to us. Sorry, continue.
Those are like boomer memes at this point. We should that should be our brand. Fuck, what was I gonna say?
It's completely different.
What?
Completely different.
No, it's fine. Oh yeah. So when someone says, "I want this game to be public," we get an email. You and I. And it's, hey, this person just submitted this thing, whatever, and a link. That link goes to an admin website on homegames.io where only we have credentials to access it, and it's basically a list of all published games, all published requests.
Okay.
We can approve them. We could deny them. That's basically it for now. Just very, very basic. I don't imagine this will be like a lot of things. We could even do it manually at first. It's just manually poking around the database is, prone to errors, especially because I'm a fucking idiot. So I don't trust myself. I'd rather have a tool that does it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I've said this before, but a big requirement is when we deny a game, if we ever deny a game, you need a message, like you need a reason,
like a comment.
Yeah, like we denied you because of this. Because otherwise, you put in all this work to make a thing, you publish, you request, and we just tell you to fuck yourself. It's cool in theory.
It's cool in theory, but I agree that would be kind of an asshole move. Like, that'd be like if someone puts out a pull request and you just hit request changes and never changes requested.
You select and highlight all the code and just request change.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so in my head, that's how that works. So I need to build that tool.
Yeah.
And set up like an admin credential type thing, which sounds harder, I think, than it will be.
I did have a question on this thing. Yeah. When we're seeing the list of games that are published and unpublished, can we also see
we see publish requests.
They request that they want to publish them. They want to mark the games as ready to mingle, right? Basically, can we see if they had other versions of that game or that are already ready to go, or would we not be able to tie those together properly?
No, we could. We would definitely would. We would have a way to query the database and see, for example, here's a publish request from a person submitted on this date. It is this version of this game. You can maybe click into that game and see the other publish requests and see, well, they've had a bunch of them rejected before, or they've had a bunch of them approved. I mean, that stuff should exist and should be visible to whatever admin is there, but I don't want that to be a thing. And again, the only reason we would deny somebody is if it's literally illegal. Mm-hmm. And that's just because we need human people to be able to determine, like, oh, hey, that's Britney Spears' music, we don't have like a system to find that.
Yeah.
So like you can't have that, and for example, and kind of stamp that version is good to go. But if someone does that once, I don't want it to be the next time like, oh, well, they've done this before. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. So really, it should just be we'll only deny you if it's, like I said, illegal, at least in the United States, where I give a fuck about anything. So,
Jesus. I care about you the rest of the world. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. I obviously care. But I mean, in terms of law, I only care about the U.S. That's where I live,
It is the most complicated set of laws in the whole world. Does that make sense?
You told me, now I believe you. I'm going to go around telling people that I live in the country with the most complicated laws and feel real cool
If I remember correctly, there's more laws in America than almost anyone can know.
Almost anyone can know?
Yeah. There's like more laws than like a person would normally be able to like store in their memory.
What's the average number of laws people can know?
I don't know, but
see, this is where it gets to that quantify the bees.
Well, it's more like it's a problem of like jurisdictionalization and how laws function, because you have your city laws and then your county laws and then your state laws, but then like all of those are subject to like a court and then like some sort of executive leader and then also like a legislative branch. So you have like 3 of all of those, and then on top of that you have like your federal. And then, so federal is like the circuit courts and like Supreme Court laws. And then there's like the executive orders. And then there's also like legislation. This is very complicated. America's a very, very complicated legal system is what I'm trying to get at here.
And because of that, we will need a lawyer at some point. I know I said I wanted to get one at the end of last year.
And Joseph's going to go to law school.
I'm pretty sure we have a couple friends that went to law school.
We do? Hell yeah.
But I don't know if they like us anymore. So we'll have to figure that out eventually. But legal stuff is one of the bullet points I have as like it's not required for launch, but would be very nice, just because I have a hard time seeing a case where we blow up and then get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, what did we do? But then again, that's why you need a lawyer. I don't know what we did.
Yeah. Well, okay, fair. But also like, what is it? I feel like you and I have like at least a reasonable sense of what's illegal.
But okay, there is an episode of Silicon Valley where they get into trouble because they built this video chat app and they never put a thing that said you have to be 13 to use this website.
Oh.
And then they got fined like $250,000 per offense. and there were like thousands or tens of thousands of offenses. And so there was this company that basically was worth negative money because of all of this shit that happened, even though it had a cool product. And so in my head, for the past several months, I've been thinking, laws, right, legal stuff. Okay, when they sign up, I'll have a box that says I'm 13 because I think I've seen that on Facebook. Like, that's the level of understanding I have. And, like, don't murder people, I understand. I think that's true. Yeah.
What if we just looked at what Amazon does for their TOS for Twitch streamers?
But like the thing I would compare it to the most is YouTube. It's user-created content, published publicly, might have dick and balls in it, and if it does, we have to remove it.
Yeah, okay.
It sounds like us.
Fair enough. Yeah, true.
Might have dick and balls.
Might have dick and balls in it. What are the odds that immediately, within like the first 2 months of us doing this, that someone's like, oh yeah, dick and balls?
See, if something happens with Homegames and we get in like giant legal trouble because we didn't get a lawyer, and I'll just do like the tech guy thing where I'm just like, oh shit, sorry. And then at that point I'll be like so well known. We'll both be so famous for being like the tech guys. Like the fucking guy who ran Uber. Like he's fine, right?
What?
Wasn't he like super doing illegal shit?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The fucking Travis Kalanick, the guy who founded Uber. Okay. Apparently, like, all the shit they did as Uber at the beginning was illegal. Like, they didn't have permits to do any of the rides they were doing. And they were like, fuck it, we'll figure it out later. We're Uber. We just need that smug white man attitude. We can get it
We're
done.
Minorities. We can't do that.
It's like a half. It's like a half between.
We're one and a half minority between the two of us. So
it's like our shitty 2.5 men ripoff.
1.5 minorities. Yeah. What I'm saying is that we're only one half the ability to get out of trouble with that.
Yeah. I'll just smile when they hit us with the lawsuits.
We would become insanely famous, though. We'll give you that.
Or like Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos lady.
Isn't she for like a Ponzi scheme though?
She just lied to investors like billions of dollars in fraud. I think she just recently got sentenced.
We don't have investors, luckily.
Yeah. So then we're fine. See, that's another thing. I think as long as this is just a giant pit for me to burn my own money and no one else is spending a single dollar on it, then there's no way that this could be a legal problem.
You know what? Here's the thing, though, is that people aren't paying money to see dick and balls. In fact, they're opting into seeing dick and balls themselves. So really, it's their fault. You know what? We have at least a non-legal argument.
Well, dick and balls is legal unless you're a child. Like, you are a child. You can't look at dick and balls on the internet if you're a kid.
Or if the dick and balls belong to a child.
Definitely, yeah. But that's what I mean. It's legal. It's not even like we don't need like a terms of service. The terms of service is just don't break the fucking law.
Yeah. That should be our terms of service.
Yeah, like you see a Steam EULA or whatever every now and then. People will post screenshots of like the end user license agreement, and it'll be like, nothing, bro, have fun. You know, like we should basically have a terms of service.
I don't like the
that.
Nothing, bro, have fun. I do like the just don't break the law, idiot.
Yeah. But like seriously, just don't break U.S. law.
Yeah, please.
That's just us kind of hand waving like, we don't know the law. We hope you do.
We don't know the law. You might. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, so I don't know, but that's one thing to figure out. Also, forgot to mention, we have a Stream Deck, and we have some really great audio clips. We have a whole setup. Basically, Windows. I think the culprit is Windows. I'm going to blame Windows.
It's fine. I won't stop you.
Made the audio shitty when we tried to get it all working on this computer. So we'll figure it out. I might have to use a different, my other laptop next week or next couple or next episode. But anyway, hot stuff coming on the way. Hot MP3s of Synovius saying Dale.
That's true. Or Dale, as it.
Dale.mp3.
Dale.mp3 as it currently says on the Stream Deck.
Hey, it plays through your headphones, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I was gonna play
put
like
the headphones over the mic.
I was literally gonna just do that. Like, put headphones near the mic and be like, "See, guys."
All right.
That's just a bum ass Stream Deck. You just put the thing up. Hey, watch this. I'm about to hit the fart. Hold on. Watch do this.
What we do is we actually don't have a stream deck. We have Synovia just chilling with us off camera and just making the noises. We pretend to press buttons.
Podcast ad libs.
That'd be funny to do. We should do that on episode 150.
That's a lot of episodes from now. I love the ambition.
It's only 50 weeks from now. Or it's 100
It's
weeks
96 weeks from now.
That's a long time. I might not be alive then. It's a long time to be alive. I don't know.
Let me see here. Yeah, I have my launch requirements, like I said, kind of categorized. That's admin dashboard, publishing, new Homegames dashboard, which is different from the admin dashboard. Website CSS is very important. I started thinking about ways to host, or not host, but basically list our podcasts, MP3s and MP4 files like directly from the website. So I'll do that so we can do all of the raunchy content that we want to do, the dick and balls that we desire.
This episode almost certainly should be called Dick and Balls with how much we've said that.
I would love to. Wouldn't that be really funny as like a cop drama? Like a buddy, not a drama, like a buddy comedy? And his name is Richard, is the main cop. Grizzled veteran. It's like Training Day, but he's not crooked.
I've never seen Training Day, but okay.
Denzel Washington, he's crooked.
Okay.
His name's Richard.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The character's name is Richard.
Okay.
He's got a sidekick. He's a turtle. His name is Bellissimo. Goes by Balls. Shows dick and balls. That's going to be a game I make before the end of the year.
That's a good idea. I won't deny it. That's a funny idea.
Thank you.
I want to play as the turtle. And then actually make it like Banjo-Kazooie where you can play as the turtle or Richard, depending.
Okay. Maybe you can upgrade to become Richard. Because you're Dick. He's Dick. That's part of the foundation of the game is that he is Dick and balls. Like they're Dick and balls.
Yeah, but like Banjo-Kazooie, because like sometimes you got to be Kazooie and sometimes you got to be Banjo.
No, yeah, I'm just saying we can't call him Richard. Maybe like we put him in a suit and it's funny because he's Richard when he does that. But otherwise he's Dick. He has to stay Dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. And then you
I don't know where I'm going.
You can I don't know where you're going with this one either. I was gonna bring this. I wasn't gonna bring this up because I forgot honestly. But then you saying that reminded me, like some sort of jolt from the dead. We went to brunch today and we were talking about funny ideas for games, and then I mentioned maybe a game where you play as somebody playing a game, but in like the office, and then you have to like play the game and beat the game, but without getting caught by your manager. And that's like the whole point of the game. It's like a game within a game, and then with Office Space put over it.
Do you think Office Space references will continue to work in the coming years? I think they will. I think that movie's timeless. But I'm trying to see what you think.
What do you mean?
Like the Bill Lumbergh, I'm going to go ahead and like that joke.
Oh, interesting. I think it's going to be that way for a lot of people. But I think that as more people go to like work from home, that probably won't be like the case as much. It's harder to be like, it's easier to duck your manager when you're working from home. Because they could message you and you're like, the next day, you'd be like, sorry, I was off already. What are they going to do? They won't know.
Yeah. Or you're just there doing this on your trackpad on Slack every 9 minutes to make sure your auto screen at 10 minutes doesn't turn off.
All right, don't know.
That's like what 90% of Americans do.
Don't reveal the secrets to the internet, okay?
I was going to say something and I forgot it.
That you agree with me.
Oh, no, I had a very grim thought. You know how they keep remaking movies?
Yeah.
Do you think in our lifetime, and I think they will, I'm going to bet money that they will, some motherfucker is going to remake Office Space like with a modern take, and it's just everybody on Slack?
That'd be the most boring movie I could imagine. I live through that every day. Why would I watch that? Unless it's like, what is his name? Mike Judge? Is he the guy who made Office Space? Yeah. Like, unless he does it and he can somehow like oracle a funny way. like make it funny. Like I don't know how you would make that work. But also like the theory of Office Space where it's just like I don't know, it's like some guy working and they're like firing people. That doesn't sound interesting. It sounds like hella boring. A lot of people at the time were probably like, why would I watch this? It's just my regular day to day. And then it turned out to be like really funny. It's like there's a possibility to be really funny, but yeah, I don't know. On the outside, it sounds boring.
Well, it's like I'm just thinking because they tried to remake The Sandlot with a rocket instead of a baseball. It's one of the worst things that's happened, dude. You like The Sandlot, right? You know The Sandlot? Oh my god. Okay, you know The Sandlot.
There's a dog.
Yeah, the dog, the baseball. Kids hit the baseball.
Yeah, and then they go to the roller coaster and they throw up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic movie.
Okay.
Classic movie. Yeah. They made a sequel where the kids just had a rocket. And it was like, oh, we have a rocket, and they blow the rocket in the yard. And they're just like, oh shit, there's a dog. There's no movie. They get it back.
That sounds.
That's what they would do that to Office Space.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it'd be like kind of funny because like I can see like a funny one where you're like where somebody is like, oh hey, like I need to talk to you real quick, and then that person was like in the shower and they have to like get on a Zoom call with this person, but like not like hide the fact they were like in the shower currently.
Yeah. Or you're like shitting on Zoom.
Yeah, that one for sure needs to be in the movie. Yeah. I think you could make it funny, but you got to like, I think you have to work in the environment of being a fully remote employee for like a while before you can start to put together the jokes.
I guess. But Mike Judge also did Silicon Valley. So I guess in a way that's kind of the modern version of like office culture.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the movie The Great Panda Adventure?
I don't think I've heard of that, no.
Okay. That's it.
Is it like a Mike Judge movie or
no?
It's just
it's like an old as fuck movie.
That's cool. Sounds great.
No, it's not. It got like a 2 on Rotten Tomatoes.
You know what didn't get a 2 on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't know if it's on Rotten Tomatoes or what. I mentioned it before we started recording. I just need to mention it on this podcast.
I don't. What are we talking about before this?
That motherfucking Kanye West documentary. Holy shit! I was on a plane coming back home a couple weeks ago, and I watched the first episode of the Kanye documentary, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing! His story is so crazy. Just like coming from no support along the entire way, having no support, and becoming what he did. Very inspirational. Made me want to work on Homegames more, thinking like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing? And then the second episode came out. It's a 3-part. The third part's coming out. It's not out yet. I finished the second part 2 days ago. For the first time in years, I cried because of a movie or TV show. The last one was Radio. When Cuba Gooding Jr.'s mom died in that movie, it is so sad. I cried. When Kanye West gets a fucking Grammy at the end of the second episode of the documentary, I cried. You should watch that shit.
Oh.
It is amazing. He's amazing. I've been talking about Kanye for like 9 days straight, and Synovia fucking hates it. So the fact that you're in my home and I have a new victim to just fucking talk about, just go off about Kanye. Basically, anybody listening to this, anybody watching, even you, Yazeed, you should watch that documentary. He's the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it. You have until like March 3rd or something like that before I probably won't be able to watch it.
Are you going somewhere?
No. That's you know, like,
it's pretty cryptic as fuck.
No. My favorite show is getting its last season, starting like March 3rd or something like that. So I'm gonna be watching that.
What show is that?
The Owl House.
Oh, right. You've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 45-minute episodes, so I'll probably watch that and then cry because my favorite show is over.
You'll find something else. You should watch
Silicon Valley.
You should watch Euphoria. It's all about drugs. You'd love it.
Isn't it like teenagers?
Yeah, apparently it's like a bunch of 15-year-olds just doing heroin or some shit. It sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound like something I would be really into. But I mean, I didn't think I'd be really into 90 Day Fiance. But whenever that's on, I get really sucked in. So maybe I don't know what I'm into.
Maybe it kind of like gives you hope for the world because those men are too not good looking for some of those women. So it's just like we could all make it, you know?
You know, as a single guy, that might be it. Yeah. I might be looking at that show and being like, you know what? Maybe I can pull a bad bitch.
90 Day Fiance is the only thing keeping you off the men going their own way subreddit.
I don't use Reddit anymore, so I have to find like the equivalent of that on YouTube. This has gone really far off the rails.
Well, fuck all that. The real topic of discussion this episode is the Doom Challenge, the Doom Eternal Challenge.
That is true.
So for those watching, Yazeed and I are playing Doom Eternal on hard, which I forget the name of it. Hurt Me Plenty or Ultraviolence?
Hurt Me Plenty. Ultraviolence was Nightmare, I think.
So we're on Ultraviolent.
Yeah.
We're one up from the hardest, or one down from the hardest. And we're giving ourselves a maximum of 10 hours a week to beat the game. To just make progress in the game, where we're trying to see who wins first, who beats the game first.
That's right.
I know with all my heart, Yazeed will never beat the game.
Why do you know that with all of your heart?
Because I know you.
I'm going to beat you. I want to beat the game. I'm going to beat you.
I'm like 4 hours in. I just killed the second Hell Priest, because you killed the first one like in the first level.
Yeah.
So I think I just killed the second one.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you're fucked, dude.
I might be, actually.
I told Alex that we were competing in this way, and he said, "You're going to clap his supple ass." Just relaying info. I'm not saying I don't believe him. I'm just telling you what he said.
That's the worst thing anyone said about my butt in years. Oh my god.
What did someone say about your butt that you remembered years ago?
I don't remember. It just felt like the right thing to say in that moment. I don't know how often people actually do talk about my butt, so maybe no one's ever talked about my butt. That's the first time maybe somebody's talked about my butt.
With this podcast episode, it'll only go up. You know, we'll get butt talk, weekly butt questions from the audience.
I really been squeezing those cheeks. But at any rate, I'm going to beat you. I haven't started yet, so I need to play 5 hours tonight, and then I need to play 5 hours the next day, and then 5 hours the next day, and then 5 hours the next day.
There aren't even 5 hours left in tonight. It's 9:48 p.m.
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
Today is Sunday, February 27, 2022.
And this is episode 102 of the Homegames podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
Hello. That's going to do it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, our music is done by our friend.
Wait, we have one more.
Do we?
Yeah. It says right here that Joseph likes big wieners. So I had to put that into the podcast.
That's our last show note. Our last show note says, "I like big wieners." And the wieners is underlined because we spelled it wrong. That's going to do it for us. Thank you, everybody. Our music is done by our friend Tynan. He is Nitan on Bandcamp. That is Nitan, Nytan. As always, you can find us on Twitter at Homegames.io. We have a website, Homegames.io. You can send us a message or a question using the contact at the bottom of the page. Ask about Yazeed's butt. How them things clapping.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.